A valediction of weeping. A valedictory poem is one of Donne's poems, a poem of farewell and goodbye. So goodbye to weeping, okay? Goodbye to weeping. Let me pour forth my tears before thy face. So that image of the man is crying. Whilst I stay here, for thy face coins them, and thy stamp they bear. So I think what's happening is the tears reflect her face. So the elaborate metaphor is they're being coined. So the tears on his face are reflecting her face, and so coins them, turns them into coins. And the language then becomes of money being minted. Thy stamp they bear. And by this mintage, they are something worth. So my tears are worth something. So the images of crying, the meaning, the way he's done it is through money. For thus they be pregnant of thee. That's an interesting use in terms of switching the language from coinage to pregnancy. Fruits of much grief they are. So they are pregnant, or they have the children of grief. Emblems of more. Emblems, a symbol, represents something. So they represent so much more, these tears. When a tear falls, that thou falls which it bore, that thou falls which it bore, so thou and I are nothing then, when on a diverse shore. So I think what's being said here is this: when a tear falls, that thou falls which it bore. I need some help with this. So I guess when the tears break the image, the reflection, when they hit the ground, they destroy the reflection, and then there's nothing left. And simultaneously, I think there's the idea that money on another shore somewhere else is worth nothing. So, or it could also mean something about the tears themselves forming an ocean between them. A diverse shore. So the water of the tears creates an ocean. It's very elaborate, really complex. Don't think I've got it fully. Let's try the next stanza. He's shifted. On a round ball, a workman that hath copies by can lay a Europe, Africa, and Asia. So now they become, they were coins, then they became emblems or symbols, and now we are globes. So on a round ball, a workman that hath copies by can lay a Europe, Africa, and Asia, and quickly make that which was nothing, all. So a globe maker can make a copy and turn nothing into something quickly. So doth each tear which thee doth wear. So actually, so does each of your tears is like those globe makers, which thee doth wear a globe, yea, world by that impression grow. So each tear is a globe as well. Till thy tears, mixed with mine, do overflow this world. By water sent from thee, my heaven dissolved, so. So her crying dissolves his heaven. So, now, if she cries along with him, it's too much. He can't handle. Oh, more than moon. What an amazing line when we start to really think about it. See, the moon controls the tide, but she controls his tears. Even more than the moon, the tides. She can pull those tears out, destroy worlds. Draw not up seas to drown me in thy sphere. Weep me not dead in thine arms. Wow. So don't make me cry an ocean to drown in your orbit. Weep me not dead in thine arms. Don't kill me. Both, I guess, emotionally and literally. But forbear to teach the sea what it may do too soon. Let not the wind example find to do me more harm than it purposeth. Since thou and I sigh one another's breath, whoever sighs most is cruelest and hastes the other's death. Oh my gosh, it's like she's a Greek god or something. Don't teach the sea to act like this. Don't let the wind use you as an example. Because what you're doing when you cry, since thou and I sigh one another's breath, whoever sighs most is cruelest, because they're blowing the other away. Because we're so powerful. Because our crying is causing so much pain and destruction. So what we have here is an example of three very elaborate comparisons. I mean, this is high metaphysical poetry. And I think what we need to ask ourselves is the poet genuinely emotionally traumatized and in love with this person? Or do they find their intellectual comparisons more compelling? What, for you, when you read, are you drawn more to? Is this another example of a poet making very elaborate puzzles? Is this an example of a poet trying to figure out how he feels? Or is this an example of genuine pain and frustration that finds these 3 or 4 images and elaborate comparisons to embrace, to explain how they feel?